Hi, this is Paul at PATools, and in this video today we're looking at label merge. PATools Excel Toolbox contains a number of different tools, and label merge is one that enables us to create labels to print out from our Excel data. So if we just open that up, and the easiest way to see how this works is to open the demo workbook. So we'll do that. And this workbook here has got a range of different source data set up. So it's got example source data to go with this template, example source data 2 to go with that template, and example source data 3 to go with that template. So we've got here some names and addresses of 14 different people, and there's some instructions here that you can follow as well. But I'm going to show you how it works. So let's do a simple merge first. We've got a 7x2 template here set up, so 7 rows by 2 columns. So we will go PATools, label merge, and we're going to merge into 7x2 template in letter format, and we'll have a look at it in a print preview. So let's just do run. We'll do yes, and there's our first set of labels that of course you could you could print. We'll close that down, and that's showing us how it works. So merge that data into this template. Now we've set up here a different template with lots of revolting colours and texts and fonts and blank ones, and something here with text above and below, as has this one. So it's just to show you, and this is going to look awful, but let's run the merge into that other template, 6x3 template in A4. We'll do run, and let's see what it would come out like on a printer. So this is just to show you that you can put standard text above and also below. You can have blank labels on your sheet. You can have different colours, different fonts. You can set up that template as you wish. And to be honest with you, setting up the template is a little bit of trial and error. What you really have to do is you have to do a merge like this, print it onto your labels, or in fact what we do is print it onto a blank sheet of paper, and then we hold up the blank sheet of paper, the printed sheet of paper against the labels, against the window, to see if we need to adjust any of the rows and columns. So sometimes that's a little bit of trial and error, but you can get that to work relatively easy, and once you've set it up for good. The other thing that you can do is, if I go and run that into this one here, is you can indent text in each label. So rather than having to line them up too much, if we just indent it, let's say by 9, which is quite a lot, so we can see, now you'll see that they've all been indented quite a long way. So that can also help you get the alignment right if you don't want to play around with your template for too long. So that's this one here. You can insert images, and we'll have a quick look at that. Example source data 3 here. This one shows how you basically insert a picture. So it's image greater than, and then the path, the name and the path to the picture. That needs to be over here, and then that would work if that picture existed. So let's come back to the beginning, label merge. Now if you want, you can run for just these 6, label merge like that. You can obviously send it straight off the printer, and if your printer is a bit slow, you can put in delay here, and you can run it off to new workbook as separate sheets. So that's another nice way to do it. So let's go and change this template here and just make it, get rid of those so it's much smaller, and we'll run it for this whole set of data here. So we do label merge. We're now going into the 7x2, which isn't actually 7x2. New workbook as separate sheets. Run, and this is what we often do in practice. So that's run. It says here 2 sheets containing 14 items output to a new workbook, book 7. So let's go and have a look at workbook 7 that's been created. Here's book 7, so it's got blank sheet 1. There's the first page, which has got, it's a little bit small to see, but it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then there's another sheet there. And having created this, you could save it and send it to somebody, or you could select all of those and just hit print and send it to your printer. So that can be quite useful as well. Just send it off into another workbook. The final thing to show you on label merge really is that you've got this label templates. So if you want to create your own template to start with, you click on here, and you probably only do this once right at the very beginning, and you say how many rows and columns it's going to be, and whether you want paper size in letter for US or A4 for Europe and the UK, and you create your new template now. And that goes off and creates a new workbook. And the template is called label template in a new workbook called book 8. And it reminds you may need to modify print margins and row heights and column widths to make it fit your actual labels and printer. The new workbook's not been saved. So we close that. Let's go and have a look at book 8 that it's created for us. Here it is. And it's created as we asked, 6 by 3. And as I say, you may need to play around. You could do a print preview of that, for example. Show margins. You may want to play around with these margins a little bit to make it actually fit perfectly on your labels. You may want to select all of that and indent it anyway, like that, a little bit, 1 or 2 indents. So you can play around with the alignment, you can play around with fonts, colours, everything that you want on here. Once you've got it the way you want, and we've set it up like that, we now need to save it somewhere. So I'm going to do File, Save As, and in C Test I'm going to call it PATools Label Template. So you would save this somewhere where you're going to keep it permanently. And that file has now been saved. And the other thing we can do is if we go into the label merge again, where it says My Label Template, if you right click on it, that's to set this current workbook as My Templates. So basically that enables this software always to remember where that file's kept, so you don't have to remember. So it warns me I've currently got one set which happens to be exactly the same because I did it earlier, but there we go. Template file set as current file. And of course in that template, remember, you could have multiple sheets. So if you had a 6 by 3 and you had a 7 by 2 that you used regularly, you could have this called 6 by 3 and another one in here called 7 by 2. So you can create as many as you want in there. So we'll close that down. And so if this was our new data, we went into label merge, we can go and by left clicking on this, it will go and open, there we go, my template file that I just created. So that's now opened and listed. So here it is down at the bottom. So I can merge into that, having spent all that time setting it up exactly the way I want. And if I run into that merge, there you'll see it. Close print preview. There's a little bug in Excel that this button here doesn't always work, but this one fortunately does. So you can always close it with that. So that used my other template. And there is one more thing to show you, and that is if I take this data here and just do copy, and I'm going to run it through the text editor here, paste from clipboard. I'm going to change tabs into common space, replace all, copy to clipboard and close. And let's put in a new sheet at the very beginning here, Control V. Now it might be that you actually get your name and address data like this from Microsoft Word, or somebody sends it to you in an email or something like that. You could use text to columns and split it out. You could use the text editor and replace commas and spaces with tabs. Do the reverse of what we've just done. But label merge also copes with this quite happily. So if I do label merge on that range, and you see how it works, if you've got one cell selected, it automatically selects the area around it. But if you've got a number of cells selected like that, then it just leaves it as it is. So it's merged my selected cells to this template, and it doesn't matter which one I use, so I'll use a 7 by 2 letter format. Actually no, we changed that, didn't we? Let's go for this one here. but I can split cells into lines using a character here. So if I say I want to split it using the comma, basically Mr. LM and then the comma will split that onto a new line. House 7 will be on a new line, town 7 on a new line, county 7 and postal zip code 7. So they'll all be on different lines. So let's see how that works. So there you'll see Mr. LM, house 7, town 7. So it's actually coped quite adequately with splitting that out without having to actually split it out like this into separate cells. And that is PATools label merge. We hope you find it useful. Thank you for watching.